You're standing in front of someone you've met at least twice, and their name is just gone. Not hovering at the tip of your tongue, completely, cleanly absent. And the worst part isn't the forgetting. It's the 15 seconds of improvised theater that follows. Subtly angling your body, scanning the room, praying someone else says their name first. You've been here before. And every time you leave carrying the same quiet suspicion that something is wrong with you. Here's what nobody tells you. The people who do this most consistently, who forget names across years and relationships and fresh introductions, are not careless, not rude, and almost certainly not as socially broken as they've been quietly made to feel. There is something neurologically specific happening in their brains, something that has nothing to do with how much they care about other people. The guilt you've attached to this is a conclusion you reached without the full evidence, and once you actually have it, that guilt doesn't just soften, it starts to look like a mistake you've been making for years. When you meet someone new, your brain is not gently receiving information, it is managing a small emergency. Reading their face, registering tone, calculating social context, figuring out whether they like you, composing whatever you're supposed to say next. Your working memory, the short-term holding space in your prefrontal cortex, is already juggling 5 things simultaneously. And into that exact window of cognitive chaos, someone hands you a single arbitrary sound, their name. Hi, I'm Kevin. Kevin doesn't connect to anything you already know. It triggers no image, no feeling, no association. In 1987, researchers McWeeny and Ellis demonstrated this through what's now called the Baker-Baker paradox. Same word, completely different retention depending on whether it functioned as a profession or a name. Names are semantically empty. Think about the last emotionally significant event you attended. You probably remember the specific silence in the room, the smell, who cried, a sentence someone said that landed somewhere deep in your chest. You do not remember what was printed on the program. Your brain made a decision without consulting you about what mattered. And it was never the text. Names are the program. Everything else about a person is the room. Memory doesn't record everything equally. It stores what feels significant, what connects, what carries emotional weight. A name handed to you mid-chaos never had a real chance of surviving that filter. Here is the layer most people have never had named for them. A significant number of chronic name forgetters are not distracted in an arrogant way. They are distracted in an anxious one. While you are being introduced, you are internally narrating. Am I making enough eye contact? Is this handshake too firm? Did I just talk over them? The name enters briefly, and the internal monologue bulldozes straight over it. Psychologist Malcolm Brener documented this in 1973, the next-in-line effect. People living with social anxiety or hyperactive self-awareness are stuck in that mode permanently. You don't have a memory problem. You have a preoccupation problem. It is worth saying something about the people on the other side of this. The ones whose names keep getting forgotten. Because the sting of it is real, and it would be dishonest to skip over it. Having your name forgotten lands like a small, pointed message. You didn't matter enough to stick. That's what it feels like, even when it's entirely wrong. But the person who forgot your name probably replayed the conversation afterwards. They remember what you said, the specific way you laughed, the odd take that stayed with them for days. They were present, just not for the part their brain filed as least important. People who forget names easily tend to be richly associative thinkers. Their memory runs on stories, feelings, and the texture of moments, not labels. This isn't a flaw in the architecture. It is the architecture. One genuinely better suited to emotional attunement, deep listening, and the kind of presence that makes people feel truly understood. Not a broken mind, just a differently built one. Repeat their name back immediately. Build one association. That's it. The shame you've carried around this was never yours to begin with.